Fantasy basketball managers want one thing: to win their league so they can have bragging rights on their league mates and they can win their prize money. But we don't have enough tools that are new to help people find innovative ways to win. We kind of been doing the same thing every single year for as long as we've been doing this channel. We'll share some rankings, we'll do some mock drafts. And I thought to myself, with the 50 something champions that we had last year, I want to take that number to about 200, 300. So how can we do it? There are tons of opportunities in the AI world. There's so many people trying to generate models to help people execute tasks in an easier and more efficient way. And we have a tool for you, and we're going to give you a little preview right here, the secret weapon. So the name of the tool is Robbin's Player Picker. Yes, me, Robbin Marks. If you don't know, I used to work at NBC Sports Roto World. I used to do some rankings for #basketball. Now I work for you. So what I did was I collaborated with Fantasy Basketball Wizard and Sports Wizard to come up with a way for us to help fantasy managers. Now, this is still in beta. This is not available to the public yet, but I wanted my community to have an opportunity to help us test it out and take a look at it live and in real time. Again, it's not available yet, but there will be a link in the show notes and description of this episode so you can try out Sports Wizard and find out when this is available to the public. And also, you'll be supporting the channel if you decide to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into the comments here and see if we got any teams. What up, Don? I see my man Don in the building. What up, Don? What up, Don? If you guys are tuning in live, do me a favor and drop the names of 2 players that you're interested in getting more insight on. Basically, this comparison tool, this player picker, is used to decide on which player you should pick, whether it's in a trade scenario, whether it's in a draft scenario. One thing that I'm looking at, and I've been speaking about constantly during our mock draft season, is the fact that those picks from 1 through 5 are kind of consistent, right? We know what's going to happen. We're going to have your Jokic, your Wemby, your SGA, your Giannis, and your Luka. And the order might change, but generally those are the 5 players that we see going off the board. From 6 to 12, I should say, things are a little more interesting. And also we see a lot more variation. So what I'd like to do here is take some names from our audience to see if we can get some insight from Robbin's Player Picker in partnership with Sports Wizard. So the first one we got is from my man, Taros. So Taros wants Sengun and Williams. So what you do here is you come down to the players to drop or players to add. And again, the language on this is all new. So it's kind of like a start sit kind of a model, but generally the breakdown that you'll see is going to be a pretty robust assessment based on current data and past data. So it's a pretty powerful tool. So we got Alperen Sengun here. And the other player he wanted was, let me go back and take a look, was Williams, right? So we got Jalen Williams and Alperen the Goon Sengun. So once you enter both players' names and you click compare players right down here, and once you click that, it takes a little bit of time, but it tells you what it's doing. It's gathering real-time performance, processing metrics, generating AI-powered recommendations, and it just cooks up for a few seconds. Now, I know there are people, not just in the fantasy basketball world, but in society, who have certain negative opinions about AI. Should we be using it? Is it cheating? And all of this kind of stuff. And I'm like, guys, there was a time in fantasy basketball where people were filling out their mocks of their draft paperwork and their league settings on paper. There was no computers. Like, people were doing fantasy sports on paper at one point. So I urge you, if you have that kind of negative feeling about AI when it comes to fantasy sports or anything, try to have an open mind, because really this is not about AI replacing analysts. This is not about cheating. This is about us leveraging the tools that are available to us so we can be successful at whatever we're doing, right? So this tool in the right hands can lead to success, and also obviously in the wrong hands, it might be utilized for something negative. But really, it's all about the person who is wielding this sword. And I encourage you to open your mind and give not just this tool, but just be a little more open to AI. And we'll talk more about that. Okay, so let's go ahead and see now that our AI tool, Robbin's Player Picker, in partnership with Sports Wizard, had a chance to cook up. So it looks like they prefer Jalen Williams. So the AI recommendation at an 8 out of 10 confidence rating, as you can see here, it says swap Jalen Williams based on comprehensive analysis of stats, schedule, and real-time data. Short-term outlook. In the short term, neither player has games this week, so there's no immediate impact of fantasy production. However, Jalen Williams offers a more balanced stat profile across the 9 categories, making him a safer pickup for when games resume. So Jalen Williams, they're giving his short-term outlook. It's worth noting that at the time of recording this episode, there are no games happening, right? So this is the off season. This is our mock draft season. When the season starts, this section will be populated with real-time data on what's happening. And that's the power of this tool. And that's why I wanted to bring it to you in partnership with Sports Wizard. Now let's talk about long-term value, because I believe long-term value will be applicable right now for dynasty managers. So if you're a dynasty manager, this kind of context can be helpful for you. So long-term value. Long-term, Jalen Williams provides superior value with higher scoring, better efficiency, field goal and free throw percentage, more steals, fewer turnovers, and significantly more three-pointers compared to Alperen, the Goon, Sengun. I'm going to see if my man Bilal could get some of my names in this joint too, because I would like the AI to like speak in my voice. While Sengun excels in rebounds, Williams' broader contributions and role as a cornerstone for the Thunder outweigh Sengun's big man stats, especially given potential trade uncertainty surrounding Sengun. That's an interesting take. And sometimes AI models can hallucinate. I don't know if we can somehow work with Bilal to try to see if we can get citations, if that was in fact a piece of information that was pulled from a source, whether it was from Reddit or from an article from NBC Sports or RotoWire or something like that. I'd like to see citations if possible. So especially given potential trade uncertainties surrounding Sengun. Williams' injury recovery timeline suggests he should be ready for the season, minimizing risk. So I know Jalen Williams did have like a hand procedure. So they're referring to that. That's cool. There is more here. So there are his key factors. In blue, it'll be hard for you to read it, but I'll read it out loud. Jalen Williams is better per game stats for points, steals, turnovers, field goal percentage, free throw percentage, and 3 points made. Sengun's trade rumors introducing roster uncertainty. And the last key factor is Williams' clear role as key player for OKC with positive team sentiment. Here we have a section for matchup impact. No immediate matchup impact as both players have 0 games this week. So again, when the season starts, this information will be based on what's happening in the actual fantasy basketball season. So week 1, week 2, you're going to actually see the games and all of that good stuff. So let's keep going. Stat comparison, the last 15 games. And I'm assuming these are the last 15 regular season games, and I can check with Bilal to get further clarity on that. So they give you a list of the categories, which I really like. And I know my points league players maybe don't view it in the same way, but look at it like this. The points category, the assist category, rebounds, steals, and blocks, all are relevant for points leagues. Field goal percentage, free throw percentage, and three-pointers made, depending on which platform you're on, might be relevant, especially if there is a negative stat for a missed shot. If you get on ESPN standard scoring, you get points, extra points for hitting a three-pointer. So this is something you want to pay attention to, even though it's broken down into categories. The language of categories, I find sometimes with fantasy points players is like, oh, that doesn't apply to me. Well, actually, it does apply to you. And you just have to stop looking at it as a category and start looking at it as a stat metric for your points league. So we can just see here, I'm not going to read through these numbers, but they give a player comparison, and then they give a green and a yellow for, I guess, who has the advantage here. So it looks like Green is Jalen Williams in points, and then Alperen Sengun is the advantage in rebounds, and then Jalen Williams has the advantage in every category except for blocks and rebounds. And then we have another section for schedule outlook, which again would be very, very relevant during the season. And then this is cool. We have latest news and updates. So they have an injury status, no recent injuries for Sengun, and then for Jalen Williams, we have Jalen Williams underwent successful surgery on July 1st to address a torn scaphoid ligament in his right wrist. And now they source it. I love that. See, Bilal, you're killing it. So they put the sources here: ESPN, Yahoo, Thunder PR via post. And then we have recent news. So it's almost like some player notes here. As you can see, we have Alperen Sengun sad that Jaylen Brown was in the Kevin Durant trade. And then for Jalen Williams injury updates. And then at the bottom, I love this section. We have trade rumors about what kind of trade rumors are happening around that player. As you can see, there are speculative comments on X suggesting that Sengun may still be on a trading block. So I love that they cited it here. And then there are currently no trade rumors for Jalen Williams. So this is fire. Listen, guys, I'm trying to keep my cool out here. You guys know we are experimenting a lot with artificial intelligence on the channel this year. And we are, if not the only, one of the only fantasy basketball channels who are leaning in to providing elite human expert analysis on fantasy basketball, but also leveraging artificial intelligence and AI insights as well. Because at the end of the day, my mission is to help you guys win your leagues. We have the first ever AI analyst, our girl Tanya, who is an AI generated influencer and analyst. She's been on a bunch of our short form content, and we're just going to continue to push the envelope in terms of how we serve you. So let's see if I can do a couple more players before we get out of here. We got my man Dom Draper. He says Josh Giddey, Jaylen Brown. So let's go ahead and punch that in. And we won't do that deep of a breakdown as we did for this one, but we'll definitely run through it. So we got Giddey. We got my man Josh, the Giddler, Giddey. And then we are going to go with Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown. Okay, cool. So we got them in. Let's generate it. And again, it's going to take a little bit of time for Robbin's player picker in partnership with Sports Wizard to cook up the data and cook up the information. But again, I think that this is just the beta version of it. We might make this a little more robust, but right now I think it's a wildly effective tool to help you if you have a really high volume night in fantasy basketball and you have to make some decisions on who you need to start, who you need to sit. I also think another use case that will make this helpful is if in fact you are in the middle of trying to figure out some kind of a trade, a one-for-one trade. Now, again, it is a player comparison tool. Right now, it doesn't have the ability to do more than one player just because this all costs money, guys. For us to generate every one of these queries, there's a certain amount of coins that we have to spend. So this is costing us money to test this out. So we want you to know, like, this is something that we are creating for you because we want you guys to be able to have every tool available to win your championship. Okay, it looks like the AI from Robbin's player picker has generated some AI recommendations, and they choose Josh Giddey, surprisingly. Wow, I love that. That's an 8 out of 10 confidence rating. That's the second 8 out of 10 confidence rating. I'd be interested to try a few more to see if that's like the same kind of trend. But again, our developer, Bilal, I'll connect with him if we see anything questionable there. Short-term outlook, nothing. And I'll read out the long-term value, and then we'll kind of browse through everything else. So they suggest keeping Josh Giddey. Josh Giddey offers superior statistical contributions across most categories in a standard 9-cat league with significantly higher averages in points, rebounds, assists, steals, blocks, and three-pointers made compared to Jaylen Brown. While Brown has a slight edge in free throw percentage, Giddey's overall impact is far greater. Additionally, Giddey's role with the Bulls, despite trade rumors, appears more stable for consistent minutes, whereas Brown's situations with the Celtics include uncertainty due to trade talks and the team's reliance on him without Tatum. Wow. That's some good feedback. Then we have the breakdown of the stat comparisons. Giddey won all of them except for 2. Then we have the outlooks and the news. And then, of course, we have the trade rumors. So this is fire. Let me know in the chat. Are you guys feeling this or what? And also, if you're watching a replay or you're watching the edited version of this episode, please make sure you comment and let us know if you're interested in trying this out. So we're going to try to do a couple more. So we'll do a couple more. We got LaMelo and Maxey from Don. Actually, I did one of Don's already. So I'm sorry, Don. We're going to make sure everyone gets a shot. We'll do Franz and Murphy. We'll do Franz and Murphy. So I'm going to enter that in really quick. And we're going to let the AI cook. We're going to let the AI cook. So we got Franz Wagner, and then we got Trey Murphy. Now, as this thing develops, I think we're going to have more options in terms of the analysis, but also maybe even the customization on ways that we can make it really focus in on serving you directly. If you don't know about Sports Wizard, it's an existing application, and this is going to be a feature within that ecosystem. And their tool, or Bilal's tool, one of the reasons we wanted to partner with him this season is to make sure that you guys knew about that tool in general, but also you guys had every available resource in order to crush and dominate your league mates. While your league mates are drinking Mai Tai on the beach, listening to Taylor Swift, you out here cooking with hot bacon grease. And that's what it's all about. So it looks like the recommendations are done. We'll go ahead and read them off. It looks like they say keep Franz Wagner. Again, we got a confidence at 8-10. I'm going to follow up with Bilal and just make sure that's not a regurgitated thing. But here is the take for the long-term value. Franz Wagner is a better long-term hold due to his confirmed health status and positive team sentiment, indicating a potential career-defining season. I love that. Trey Murphy, his season-ending injury, a torn labrum and rotator cuff tear, introduces significant risk, despite encouraging rehab updates as his return timeline remains uncertain for the 2024-25 season. So that should be 25-26 season. But again, we're all testing this out in beta. Okay, we're gonna do our last one here. This one is a request from Scott, and he wants Asar and Booker. Asar and Booker. I'll do Amen and Booker because I just feel like these guys. You know what? I'm gonna do what you want, Scott. My bad. I was taking it mad serious. Like, they're too far apart. No, let's do it if that's what you want. I know that they're gonna pick Booker, but I'll do it because again, I'm for the people, man. I'm not out here. I'm not trying to come up on this tool right now. I'm just trying to serve you guys. So we'll do Asar. I think you meant Amen, but I'm gonna do Asar because I'm gonna just keep it by the book. You see what I did there? Booker. All right. So let's let the AI cook. Robbin's player picker. And let me know in the chat. Do you guys like the name? If you have a better name, we're thinking about, we can change it. We're like still in the early stages of this. And again, it's not available to the public quite yet, but we want to have a small beta group of testers sign up and see how it is, give it a test run. I could even work with Bilal and his team to see if we can give you guys some kind of a discount to incentivize trying out the tool. But we want to make sure you guys dominate this season. And in order to do that, we ain't holding back. Like, we are going all the way in. Top is off. Boobies is out. Hair blowing in the freaking wind. Convertible. Status. Yeah. All right. It looks like the AI recommendations. Oh, we have a different confidence rating. So I won't talk to Bilal about this. This is good. And thank you so much, Scott, because I think the range gap between these two players helped to adjust this AI recommendation. So now we have a 9 out of 10 confidence rating. And the swap is for Devin Booker. So the AI believes that Devin Booker is the pick. Long-term, Devin Booker is a proven elite fantasy asset with high-end production in points, assists, and free throw percentage. Despite some turnover concerns, his role as the cornerstone of the Suns ensures consistent usage even amidst trade rumors. Asar Thompson, while promising with strong defensive stats, steals and blocks, and efficiency, lacks the offensive volume and consistency to match Booker's fantasy impact. Thompson's development is encouraging, but Booker is the safer and more impactful choice for sustained value. And as you can see here, it looks like Asar has him in a few, has him in actually more categories, but they're still recommending Booker here. So, hey, it is what it is. You can use this tool when it comes out, but until then, check out this playlist with all of our player rankings so you can do this manually. This episode was presented to you by FanDuel.